Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? It's the same Leg here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys another review straight from TIFF 2023. We had the honor of being able to go on site, checking out some amazing films. I'm here to talk about Next Goal Wins. This is the Taika Waititi film, written and directed by, so you already know this is going to be crazy. This is starring Michael Fassbender, Elizabeth Moss, Will Arnett is in it. Oscar Knightley is in this as well. He's actually one of my favorite characters in Tavita, because basically the premise of this is it's basically the story of the American Samoa soccer team and how they had one of the worst runs since like 2001 of like losses. And I think their loss that they had in 2001 during one match was 31-0, which has never happened before, but they hadn't won anything ever since that point. So what ends up happening in this story, whether or not this is true to life, I know that Taika basically said, even in the context of in the first lines of the movie, they kind of exaggerated certain aspects of it. But Michael Fassbender plays the role of Thomas. Thomas is, or was, a specific kind of coach, and he's high strung, but he's kind of at his tail end, and there's nowhere else he can go but go to this American Samoa soccer team and try to rectify their losses. And so that's where Oscar comes in Tavita. And Tavita, I love his character. I really do. Like, he's so, I don't know how to really describe him. Like, he's such a good, pure soul. His son is also playing in this one. He's playing on the soccer team named Dora. Daru is basically kind of like the headstrong one, and he just doesn't want to believe in anything. But Tavita, he truly believes that Thomas being there is a good thing. Them wanting to push themselves. Like, he's the ultimate motivator, but he's a hard worker as well. Like, he works so many different jobs, and he brings to life for Thomas, or Michael Fassbender's character, what all this truly is about. It's not about necessarily winning, it's more so about the inspiration for these people to believe that they can be more than what they are. Case in point, a character that is played by Kamana. Kamana is a non-binary actress, and she's playing the role of Jaya. Jaya is a transgender woman that is on the soccer team that, you know, from what Thomas sees, got natural ability, but seemingly she just doesn't really care. And so the whole team is dysfunctional. The whole entire team doesn't function, but he kind of pivots to her to show her that, no, like, there's something there. The other thing about Michael Fassbender's character, Thomas, there's layers to him as well that you don't really know. I'll talk about that in a second, because that may be actually a negative / a positive, but I do like the fact that he is a layered character. Now, Michael Fassbender is not common to doing comedy, so it was really weird seeing him kind of a fish out of water. I think the last time I've seen something kind of like this was like Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise. To be honest with you, but Tom Cruise, I definitely say, did some of the best fish out of water kind of scenarios like that. Taika definitely does play in this as well. Now, Elizabeth Moss in this one, she plays the role of Tom's ex-wife. They don't do that much with her at all. Like, they kind of have her be like the voice of reason, but honestly, it's such a it's not to say it's not an important role, it's just, it's not a heavily used role. The role that honestly is one of the biggest is Jaya. Another big role is Tavita. I think Tavita has more influence to this arc than even the character Gail that Elizabeth Moss is playing in. So a lot of times I just kind of didn't understand why Elizabeth Moss was in this one. It also felt really weird having Will Arnett be her new husband / Thomas's boss. It just felt really cheesy, and it just didn't feel believable. Like, I think the problem with this film is balance. And I know Taika loves comedy. He loves fish out of water scenarios that bring moments of levity. And there are some great moments like that. But it just, in the context of even just the acting selection for certain people, it just didn't work for me. Now, I think everybody on the actual soccer team, the team itself, was fine. I think that the dysfunction, I mean, I looked at, you know, soccer movie like Big Green, for instance, like they were dysfunctional, like didn't work, but bringing them all together in their own collectives is one of the most beautiful things about it. I mean, you've seen Ted Lasso. I mean, you already know that this can be done. But I think that in this context, they try to go a little over exaggerated because of the way that they show the town. The town kind of is presented like, you know, they literally have nothing, and they're like, they're rich in soul and spirit, and they're a very heavily religious town. Like they have a serious belief in God, that they're considered believers. And everything they do is centered around that, which is really cool. But they make it like a joke, and they lean on that so much that anything that kind of happens with Thomas as a character or with the team just doesn't feel real. Like it just, I mean, either you're gonna like the comedy aspect of it, or it's gonna throw you off. And I think that the other part about Thomas as a character, he's way too silly. I never took Thomas as a character seriously. The only moment that I did was towards the end of the film, when they start to uncover kind of why Thomas is the way he is, what Thomas is doing, why he's there. That was a serious moment. That was a moment that I think if they would have played it differently, that this could have been one of the most interesting, inspiring stories. But they play it so up with the comedy, with having Will Arnett randomly in there. It just unfortunately lost me. I'd rate this kind of like a D, unfortunately. But I do think that some people would gravitate towards it. Maybe the comedy will land. But let me know what you guys think of Next Goal Wins. I'll talk to you guys more. I do think that Kamana, I loved her performance. Look for more content from them. I'll talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, people.